Hi guys, welcome to Gemma B Makes. I am Gemma and this is my crafting podcast talking about all the things that I've been making over the past couple of weeks. We mainly cover knitting and crochet, a little bit of spinning. I've got some sewing that I've been doing, and this episode I've been doing some quilting. So yeah, lots of crafty rabbit holes to dive on down. This particular episode marks 1 full year of me doing this podcast on YouTube. So that's really exciting. And last episode, to mark the occasion of 1 year, I wanted to do a giveaway. So people commented below to do a giveaway. So I did a random number generator and put everybody's name in a hat. Yeah. Put everybody's name into a hat and give a number sort of thing. Anyway, the person that won the bag was Lorraine Rideout. Now Lorraine said that she'd like the big crafty bag. So Lorraine, this big giant bag is on its way to you, my darling. So all you have to do is just get in touch, either by Instagram, which is probably the best way to do it. I'm Gemma B Makes on Instagram, or you can find me on Ravelry. I'm not very active on Ravelry, but I am there and I do pop in at least once or twice a week. And I'm Gemma Beige on Ravelry, so you can come and message me on there as well. And I'll post that out to you. So congratulations, Lorraine, you are the winner. Yeah. So how exciting is that? Yeah. So wonderful year of doing the podcast. So I thought I'd just take this time to tell you a little bit more about me. Maybe introduce myself a little bit better, because I just talk about my knitting all the time, and I thought maybe you'd like to know a little bit more about me. So yeah, I'm Gemma. My middle name is B, so that's Gemma B. I am 35 and I live in Leeds in West Yorkshire in England with my other half David and my 2 boys Edward and James. Edward is 6 and in year 1 at school, and he is super intelligent and the biggest Pokemon nerd you will ever meet. And James is 14 months, 15 months. He was 1 in March. So, and he is now walking. Can you believe that? James is now walking. And he is into everything. And I mean everything. He empties. See this nice bookcase that we have here? Yeah, this is usually all over the floor. We've got 2 of these in the living room. So that's been interesting. Do you know when Edward was little, we bought all the the safety measures that you put all the door catches on and things to keep the fridges closed, and soft closers and edges on things so nobody banged heads, and we were really safety conscious. And we never ever needed them, ever. I was safe in the fact that I could leave Edward watching a bit of telly or something. I put CBeebies on, I give him a snack, and it would be in exactly the same place when I came back. Like I could go to the loo and come back downstairs and he would be in exactly the same place. Now if I left James and went to the toilet thinking he'll be in the same place, he would literally have the TV on his head, or the book, like all of the books strewn everywhere. And yeah, you can't leave that boy alone. He's into everything. But he's absolutely adorable with it. Anyway, so what else can I tell you about? So currently I am on an extended leave from work. So I had a year's maternity with James, and I've got an extra 2 years as a career break. It's an unpaid employment break. So I've got another 2 years before James goes to nursery. So I get to spend some time with him at home, and yeah, it's really nice. I'm really grateful that I have this opportunity to do that. What else can I tell you about me? What do you want to know? Is there anything you actually want to know? Are you even bothered? Shall we just talk about knitting? I was thinking the other day, I was like, do you know, I don't think I've actually said anything about me, about what I do. And I like all the personal bits. You know, when you're watching people's podcasts, I like to know little things about people. I'm just going to leave it there for now anyway. If you want to know anything, ask. I'll tell you. I'll talk about some knitting, shall I? Yeah, okay. Okay. So it has actually been about 5 weeks, I think, since our last podcast. And I know today is Friday the 7th of June, 6th, 8th. It's a Friday in June. And I really don't think I'll be able to edit and put the podcast up until next week either. So although I'm filming today, I don't think it'll be up till next week. And, well, it's now. Hello. Whenever this is, you're watching. I find it really hard to actually get to sit down and podcast at the minute, simply because James is so active and we like to get out and do things, and he's just got to the point now where he can have one big long nap. So we'll go out in the morning and get him nice and tired, and then he'll have a sleep at about, I don't know, 10:30, 11 o'clock, and have a good hour or two of sleep, and then we'll go out again on the afternoon, or we'll go pick Edward up from school. And it takes quite a bit to prepare for this podcast. You know, I've got lots of stuff strewn around. I've got, things of notes and trying to remember things. And every single time I finish a podcast, do I go, oh, I forgot to mention this. Oh, I forgot to mention this. Every single time. And because I've left it for so long, I've got so much to talk about this time that I'm just going to have to get through it. I was annoyed at myself as well, because I always seem to try and rush things, and I don't get to talk about things as much as I'd like, and especially when I go back to editing, I always get annoyed at myself that I haven't done things anyway. So yes, it takes quite a lot to get set up, and the school holidays, the school holidays killed me this time. And Edward really, really wanted to do a video. He's like, can we sit down and we'll film another video? Because I think he helped me do episode 5 or 6 or something. He wanted to talk about his toys, and ever since then he's wanted to talk about his toys. Nobody wants to see that, Edward. He will talk about Pokemon until the cows come home, forever, constantly, all the time. Pokemon. We call it Pokemon radio in our house, and I have to ask him to turn it off. Edward, turn off the Pokemon radio. I don't want to hear about it anymore. Although we do like Pokemon Go. So does anybody else play Pokemon Go? You can get it on your phone. So Pokemon is set in the real world. It's basically a map. So you on your phone, you are a person stood on a map, and you have to walk places to collect Pokemon and to get certain stops and battle in gyms and all this thing. And it gets Edward walking, basically. We went through a bit of a stage of he didn't want to walk to go to school. Well, you got to walk to school. That's the rules. So we put Pokemon Go on the phone, and we've both become a little bit addicted. Yeah, I do play when he's not around. And I go for walks with James all the time. But that's, yeah, I don't need to hear about it though. Edward, turn it off. So Edward did want to do a little video to talk about it, and I set him up doing a little bit of filming. So he filmed himself talking about, I wanted to get him to do a guide. So I was like, Edward, try and tell people what you have to do in Pokemon Go from the very beginning. Oh, it's so bad. But I'll put a little clip in at the end of Edward talking about Pokemon Go. Yeah, he really, really did babble. And anyway, if you want to see Edward growing up, he's at the end. Right, okay. I'm actually going to talk about some knitting now, I think. I've really got a lot to talk about, and I just can't get the motivation to talk about anything. Okay, I'm going to start with some finished objects. Okay, I'm going to start with some finished objects. So you've seen these one before. These were a half object last time, and now I have a full pair of socks. So they are actually still wet because I give them a soak earlier today and give them a squeeze out. So they're still on the sock blockers. I mean, they're still drying. So this is my own recipe of a sock. A couple of inches on for a cuff. I did a little pattern on the front, which in hindsight I really wish that I'd put on the back as well, so it went all the way around. But it was supposed to be little flowers in a garden. Can't really see it very well. It didn't really work out. But yeah, I kind of wish that I'd gone all the way around. And yeah, just followed a general sock recipe, heel flap and gusset, and a decreasing toe. What do you call that, a toe? Wedge toe. It's a wedge toe. And the yarn is Twist Tangle Yarns, naturally dyed by my friend Julie in Madder. So they worked out really well. I managed to get the best fit for myself, although I say I got the best fit. The leg is a bit wide, so I got the best size on the foot, but they're actually a little bit wide. So I'll just have to decrease the stitch count the next time I do a pair of socks. But there you go. I've actually finished a full pair of socks. Let's have a little look. I've also got quite a few leftovers as well. So I'll have to weigh it and see how much I've got left. But I'm going to be doing a scrappy project soon, so hopefully I can use my leftovers. Okay, my next finished object is the little jumper that I was making for James out of the Strange Brew book by Tin Can Knits. I know I've gone on about it quite a lot. So what I did is I took the sizes for the size 1 to 2 years and I made my own little Fair Isle pattern. Not Fair Isle, yeah, Fair Isle. I did a yoke. So I designed a little yoke on the jumper. So this is, yeah, like I said, ages 1 to 2 from the Strange Brew with my own design on the yoke. I knit it up in the Women's Institute, soft and silky, the DK. I used 1 full ball of this. In fact, I had a little, well, I don't know, it's gone, tiny little ball left over, and I just used a small amount from the white as well. So yeah, I was really happy with how this turned out. It is acrylic, so it won't block, but I think it's done quite a nice job in, yeah, it looks the same on both sides. Yeah, I was really happy with how it worked. So because I've done the 1 to 2 sizes, 1 to 2 years, sorry, it fits James now. It fits him beautifully now. However, the sun is here and we really don't need a DK wear acrylic jumper. And it's not going to fit him for winter time. So I'm actually going to a baby shower on Sunday. My friend Mez is having a boy in a couple of weeks' time. So I'm going to gift her the jumper because I think by the time it comes to December, the winter time at least, it'll fit her baby. She likes to have big ones. So hopefully Mez will like the jumper for her little boy. Yeah, I was really happy with how it turned out. So now I've got the pattern all written down, so I'll just be able to make the next size up for James and then it will fit for winter. So that's going to be a job. That's going to be one of my next projects because I still have another ball of the grey, and I think I have 2 balls of the white colour. So hopefully I might do it reverse because I used the full skein of the grey making this 1 to 2. I'm not quite sure how. I'll have to have a little look at how much I've got. But yeah, I was really happy with how it turned out, and hopefully Mez will like it, her little boy. So that's all my finished objects. I've got a few works in progress. I have the one work in progress that I've been doing my most work on, I can't actually show you. So I'm test knitting a pair of socks for my friend Emily. We met on Instagram. She is Joy's Rainbow Yarn, and she was one of the first person that I bought my indie dyed yarn from. I found her on Etsy, and she's done a sock design, and I don't know how much I can tell you, so I'm not going to tell you anything. But yes, I can't show you at the minute, but I will show you as soon as I'm allowed, because they are really, really nice. I'm really, really happy with them. But that is the one thing that I've really been putting most work onto. But I've also put in working on my Tania. So this is the Tania by Caitlin Hunter. So I think the last time I showed, I wasn't quite sure what I was, whether I liked the jumper in this particular colourway. I thought I was going to pull. I don't know if it was too busy for the lace. Anyway, I really, really like it. I've put quite a lot of work into the body. Now, the Tania is designed to be a cropped jumper. I don't really feel the cropped style at the minute. I know there is lots of crop jumpers coming out at the minute, and everybody seems to be knitting them at the moment. But it's just not me. They go beautifully with dresses and a high-waisted, high-waisted trousers, high-waisted skirts, or over the top of a dress. And I am just a jeans and t-shirt kind of girl. I don't know. I think if I, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to knit mine a little bit longer because I don't really do the crop. So I'm going to put a couple more inches in it. I don't think when I've redone my gauge, I'm not getting the row gauge, so I think I'm just going to try, when it blocks, it's just going to have to give it a little bit of a stretch, and pull out all this lace. I think it's going to look really, really nice. So yeah, I was going to also add this in. I think Lorraine of LNS Crafts is doing a sew your summer garment along. Not sew, sorry, knit a summer garment on Ravelry, and she's got a little oh my gosh, I can't talk. I'm losing my stitches as well. Yeah, so she's running the make along, and so I think if I put a little bit of work into it, I might be able to hit that and put it into her summer garments, because I'm just going to make it into a short t-shirt. Let's have a little look. Go and split. I don't know if to stop now. I don't know. I can't decide, because I think when I block it, it's going to give it quite a bit of length. Anyway, I've got to the point where I think I should split for the sleeves, and then I don't know, when I give it a little bit more attention, because I've been doing a lot on these socks, on the test knitted socks. When I give it a little bit more attention, I'll be able to split for the sleeves. So this is the first time I've done a jumper that's bottom up. Well, I've only done one before, that was top down. So, but the baby ones, like the children's jumpers, I've always done them top down, either a raglan style or taking off this for the sleeves. Yeah, what do I do? Yeah, in the round, sorry. Either a raglan style or in the round, and then nip it for the sleeves. So I've never done it bottom up, so I don't know. I haven't read the pattern yet of what I actually need to do. I hope it's quite simple, because yeah. So this as well, okay, I wanted to show you this because I did have to alternate the skeins. It did start pooling. So for the first, I don't know if I can, oh guys, I don't know if we're in focus. Oh, where did you go? What can you see now? Are you out the window? Let me reset this. Okay, let me show you this. So for the first, I think, what's this here? It's about 10 rows. I used just the one skein. I could see that it was going to pull. Although it was doing it every other line, there was going to be a definite clear pattern that went through. And I decided I didn't want that. So I changed skeins, and I've been alternating skeins. And I'm really hoping that blocking takes out this line, that I've kind of got a wiggly line. I thought, oh, maybe if I offset it. Yeah, I can, I can see it anyway, all the way down here. And I'm really hoping that blocking like kind of sets that and takes that away. And then somebody mentioned helical, elliptical. I have no idea. I can't remember what it is. I'll put it in a. So they mentioned a technique that that helps alternating skeins and makes it so you don't lose that. And then I was watching a podcast the other day, and somebody else mentioned that they just learned how to do it, and it's changed their life. So I need to have a little look at that. I mean, it's a little bit late now because I've done all the work and I'm definitely not ripping it out. I think blocking will take that out, and if not, it's, you know, it's going to be at the side, and it just kind of looks like a seam. I don't think anybody else will be able to tell that it's there. Yeah, so I don't think anybody will be able to tell. Only me, and I'm hoping blocking takes it out. But it would be interesting to go have a look at what this particular type of alternating is, just so you don't get that line all the way up. So yeah, I've really enjoyed that. That has been my ultimate TV knitting. And now I've got to the point, so I finished my socks for Julie, with Julie's yarn, and I finished the jumper. I've been test knitting the sock. That's actually got quite a nice, it's got some beautiful little pattern in it, but it's not really watching telly kind of knitting. And socks is usually my watching telly kind of knitting. And I think I've got to the point now on the Tania where I've been going in the round that I think I'm going to split for the sleeves, so I need to concentrate on that now. So now I'm a little bit I need some more yeah, so I need some more mindless knitting. So what I did was cast on a little jumper for James. So this time I picked a free pattern from Ravelry, which is a Drops Design by Drops Design, I think, and it's just it's a cabled raglan. Now I can't remember what it's called. I think it's in French. I'll put a little thing wherever is space. And this is how far I've got. You can't see that very well. Anyway, guys, I've got to the point where I've done the neck. It's got this lovely little cable on the raglan part of the sleeve, and I'm just about to split for the sleeves, and then this will be my my mindless knit. This yarn is by James C. Brett. It's a Fairground, I think. Let's have a little look. Fairground DK, and I picked this up when I went to the Harrogate Knitting and Stitching show last year, and I really liked the colour while it was in the ball. I thought it was really quite autumny. But as it's knitting, I don't know if I like pattern. Anyway, it's going to be a nice little jumper, but I'm not quite sure on the yarn. I mean, I'm not going to not knit it. I think I'll finish it, but I don't know. I'm not quite sure about it. I don't know. What do you think? I think it'll look cute on a little boy. So it's got to the point now. So for the past 6 months, a little bit longer, I have just been knitting from my stash. And I've got to the point where I'm really going to have to find patterns to go with my yarn rather than finding the pattern I mean, rather than picking the pattern and then getting the yarn, which is the way round I like to do it. So I like to find a pattern and then I like to pick yarn for it. But now I've got lots of like single skeins of sock yarn. So I've got lots of socks that are ready to be on the go. And what else have I got left? I just wanted to make a really good dint in it, and I think I've done that over the past couple of months. I've managed to get my stash down from like 2 massive big bags to just one drawer. It all fits in one drawer and maybe 1 bag in the wardrobe. Maybe 2 bags in the wardrobe. Oh. I was watching somebody on Instagram the other day, and we kind of have 2 stashes, and she was really right. We have 2, well, I do 2 stashes. I have one in the wardrobe that's kind of hidden in bags that a lot of it is acrylic scraps and little bits of, it's mainly scraps, and then balls of acrylic that I've picked up here and there. And then I have another stash which I keep in the drawer that's all my really nice wool, the nice skeins of wool and my leftovers, and leftover scraps from projects. So she's really right. We do have, well, I do anyway. It was definitely true for me that I've got 2 different stashes, and I really wanted to get my wool stash down. So my nice pretty stash, that's the one I wanted to get down, and I think I've achieved that. However, the stash in the wardrobe that's full of acrylic that I don't want to get rid of, because I feel that I will use it one day for something, or something will happen and I'll be like, oh, I really needed that. Why did I get rid of it? You know what I mean? At the same time, I cannot think when I will possibly use it. Like, I can't think of when I will have the time to use the things that I don't really, I don't know. Just babbling now. Anyway, I'm really, really getting through all my stash. So I am I'm happy with things. So on last week, is it last week? Yeah, was Leeds Wool Festival, which I'll talk about a little bit later on. But I just want to say, I didn't buy anything. I bought no yarn. So I did not add to my stash. And I'm really, really enjoying getting rid of my stash. It's really satisfying. I'm really, really enjoying it. And I like the pick a pattern for the yarn. So yeah, that's why this one happened. This was stash yarn. It's getting used up. It's becoming jumpers. I do feel a little bit bad that I keep knitting jumpers for James and nothing for Edward. I did, so that's one thing that I did pick up at Spring Into Wool, actually. I didn't, not at Leeds Festival, I went to Spring Into Wool at Leeds Grammar School, and I picked up a jumper pattern for Edward, and then got home and realised I didn't have the yarn for it. I picked it up because I thought I did, and when I got home I didn't. So yet again I've picked a pattern and we'll need to pick the yarn for it. But anyway, that's why. I think it's because I don't have enough wool in my stash to have enough to make a jumper for Edward. I think I would have done if I had 2 balls of this, because I had, you know, this could have been a jumper for Edward. But because this one didn't fit James, it was, I don't know. Anyway, oh guys, I really am just talking a little bit rubbish today, aren't I? Just going off on random tangents. Anyway, that was a work in progress. And I've got one more, but I've not really been working on it. So this is the Harlow hat by Andrea Mowry. Look how far I've got. You can really tell that I've been working on it. Now this, I wanted to do this for the brioche along that Mel Brown of Mel Brown's crafting podcast was hosting. However, I bought these needles. So the Harlow hat is knit on a 3.25 needle, and I'm currently using those. I only have one set, and I'm currently using them for my tenure. So I went out and I bought these from Spring Into Wool. So I went to Spring Into Wool a couple of weeks ago. However, so these are Knit Pro cam. The whole camera just died. Avalanche. Anyway, what was I saying? So yeah, so I picked up some more 3.25s. I got the Knit Pro Carbons, but this, can you see? This happens all the time, and it is just, they're impossible to use. It just, yeah, it gets caught constantly. So I tried to get in contact with Knit Pro, who are just so hard to get into contact with. I can't find an email address to send them to. I found the website where you can log a complaint, or you can, you know, send them a little thing to say that you're complaining, or you whatever. Because I think it's European. They want a zip code. Now, we don't have zip codes in England. We have postcodes, and it won't accept the postcode, so you can't complain. So if anybody knows of, I've really tried to Google it. I really cannot find anywhere in the UK that deals with Knit Pro. Like, how, I just want a replacement. It'd be really nice if I could get a replacement for my Rosewood Knit Pro 3.5s as well, because they snapped the first time I used them. And we tried to get them, claim it back through Amazon, and it didn't work. And I don't mind paying for them. I'll pay for it. I'm not paying for this. I'll pay for my rose one. I snapped it. But I don't know. Do you know when you just... How do I get this? I want a replacement. How do I get one without having to buy one again? A little bit annoying. So that's just put a hold on my halo hat and my brioche along. But the yarn I'm using is Hey Sister Yarn Co. We've got the Mood Ring and Pulse. And they just released a video. I don't know if anybody follows Hey Sister podcast. They just released a video to say that they're going to be no longer dyeing yarn. It's a little bit too much for them, and I completely understand. I don't understand. So if for anybody who doesn't watch them, the Hey Sisters are two sisters that are stay-at-home mums. Tabby has 5 children, and Rachel has 2 and is pregnant, and they homeschool their children, and they would like yarn dyers extraordinaire. Yeah, I don't know how they fit it all in. Well, it turns out they can't. They're done. So yeah, this is going to be like one of the last bits of their yarn. And I want to make something pretty out of it. The halo hat will be pretty eventually when I get some needles. So that is just going to be on hold until I can get another set of needles. I thought I might just go up a needle size, but again, I'm using those particular needles on a different project. So just one of those things. Just have to wait. Can't knit them all the time. But that's everything that I've been doing. Yeah. So current projects: Tanya, Little Jumper for James, and secret socks that you're not allowed to see. I think I'm doing well. I've got plans to cast on a few more socks just to get whittle through that sock yarn stash. And everything else I'm going to be knitting out of my hand spun. So I have been spinning. In fact, I am going to go rescue my yarn off the washing line because I can see it's about to rain, and it's been to soak and dry. So yeah, one sec. Okay, yarny rescue. Okay, so it's still really quite damp. So yeah, this is a little bit of spinning that I've been doing. So last time I podcast, I mentioned that I've been borrowing a wheel from the Guild. I paid £5 a month. Sorry, things flying around. I paid £5 a month from the Guild, and then I've taken my wheel back now, so I was no longer having a wheel. And my lovely friend Julie of Twist Tangle Fibres sent me a message and said, would I like to borrow as a long-term her Ashford Traveller? Yeah. Please. This lady is so generous. So apparently I'm doing her a favour by keeping out, just clearing a little bit of space so she can have more craft space. But let's face it, she's doing me a huge favour. Now I haven't been able to have a proper play on it yet. As soon as I got it, I set it all up and had a little play, but I've not spun much, so I've been doing loads and loads of sewing, so I'll show you that in a bit, but I really haven't had time to spin. The little bits that I have done, I'll show you now, but they've all been done on my drop spindle when I've been going to the Spinners of Air on Wednesdays. So both of these were Rolags that we'd made with Mel Brown. Now I mentioned this before, but I never showed you them, and I couldn't believe I never showed you it. And again, going back to editing, and when as soon as I finish things, go, oh, I'm always missing things out. So this was one of the Rolags that we did. It was all different colours, all different shades. It had some pink, yellow, blue, black, bit of white in there. And I did it all on the drop spindle, and then chain plied it on the wheel. That was really, really fun to do. And I also, this was another one. So this was it's teal, black and white. And I think Mel has done, Mel of Mel Brown, because we did these together. She did some in a very, very similar colours, and hers made like a little fade. So I think hers was called Dark Waters or Muddy Waters or something. So again, I did this on the drop spindle and then I chain plied it. It's still all a little bit damp. I need to hang it back out again, but it was going to rain. It's got a proper fuzz to this one, super fuzzy. But yeah, it's worked out nice. So again, I've got two little mini skeins of different colours to add to my hand spun. I still haven't started a project with all my hand spun yarn. In fact, I'm trying to reach for the box of hand spun yarn to show you. It's currently being used as a rest to rest the camera on, so I can't show you. But I now have a shoebox full of hand spun yarn that I really, really need to make a project out of. I saw the other day on Instagram that the Crochet Project are doing another mystery crochet along. Now, I have really, really enjoyed the past two crochet alongs. So there was the Skimming Stones and the Echo Chamber, and I've enjoyed them both. This, the third one, well, the next one that, sorry, I've just noticed, so I'm sat next to my radiator, I've got a little Jamesy grossness of, I want to say, pizza? More, ugh, I need to clean that. That's really gross. Anyway, sorry, complete tangent. My child is a minger. Anyway, can't remember what I was talking about. Oh, the crochet along. So yeah, I've really, really enjoyed Skimming Stones and the MCAT and the Echo Chambers. And this next one that they've just announced is to use scraps. So it's all those little scraps of 4-ply that you've got. It also says something along the lines of using different textures. You could use different weights if you wanted to. So I'm thinking I might do a hand spun. How cool would that be? Because I've got lots of different little scraps, and I think it'd you know, if this new mystery crochet along is talking about different textures and different colours and different scraps, and I'm all in for that. Sounds like fun, doesn't it? So I'm really, really happy that there could be potentially, because I do have lots of 4-ply scraps as well. Maybe I'll do 2. Maybe I'll do 7 because I've probably got enough yarn to do 7. They can all be different. Anyway. So yeah, that's my plans, hopefully. And if not, I'm totally copying Mel, again, of Mel Brown's Crafting Podcast, because she is doing a cardigan out of hers, and that looks like fun. So I might have a scrappy cardigan. Anyway, okay, I'm going to talk about all the sewing that I've been doing. So we all know for the past couple of weeks I've been doing lots and lots of different sewing. So I've been trying to make project bags. So this was one of my very first prototype project bags. And then obviously I've been a nice project, the winner of my giveaway. This was one of the very large project bags with the pockets and things. So yeah, all fully lined and things. So yeah, that one's for Lorraine. But I was also making, because we found out, I found out, sorry, that we were going to have a table at Leeds Wool Festival. So I'd mentioned before I was going to do a little project with Julie. Julie was doing some hand-dyed yarn. I made some stitch markers and I made some project bags. And then I also started making some more project bags because because we were allowed the space to sell. So I made quite a few. Now I sold quite a few. I sold at least half, but I have all these rest of them left. So I'll show you my little stitch markers. Let's have a little look. So these are the stitch markers. So little leaves and acorns, very autumnal. Okay, so we did the stitch markers, and then they're all in the bags. And then I made quite a few bags, so I still got quite a few left over. No idea what to do with these guys now. So I think what I'm going to do, so these are all the small ones. I sold all out of all of my really big ones. I've got one of the larger size, and then the rest of them are the small ones. They've got a bigger, larger gusset. So what do we do with them all? I think I'm going to put them in an Etsy shop. So I just love these fabrics. It's this one. So I got loads of different fabrics. That one's one of my favourites. This one is one of my favourites. They're all my favourites. I picked the fabric. So, but I just really, really like them. So yeah, I've got them all left over. So what I'm going to do, guys, is open a little Etsy shop. I'm not going to be selling things all the time, but I've got bags left over and I just want to get rid. Again, I don't hoard things. So yeah, look out for, hopefully I'm going to open that within the next couple of days, probably early next week. And so if you'd like any of the bags, the Etsy shop will be there. Or if you want to, if you'd really like one, you can always send me a message and I'm sure we can do a little bit of a deal. All right. But because I've been doing all that sewing, I was left with hundreds of scraps of fabric. Again, we're all about stash busting in this house at the minute. So I decided I was going to use all these fabric scraps to learn how to do quilts. Because I just need another rabbit hole to dive down, right? Yeah, so my life, especially for the past couple of weeks, has just been about sewing. I've been tied to my machine, first of all making bags, and now I've just been learning how to quilt. So it started a couple of weeks ago. My local fabric store is B&M Fabrics. That's on the side of Kirkgate Market in Leeds. It's a brilliant store and they've got a workshop downstairs. So I went on a very beginner's quilting course. It was spread over 2 days. Well, originally it was only 1 day, but we made her do another one because we wanted to learn how to do the rest. So I'll show you what we did. So you'll have to, this is so creased because I literally just popped it out of the bag. So on the first day, we learnt how to pop little squares together, basically. We learnt how to do to line everything up so it fits in the perfect little squares. We learned how to press it properly, and how to do the cutting, which is like one of the main parts. It's all about precision, is quilting, and it kind of fits me. I am quite precise when I do things, and basically the better you cut, the better you sew, the better the points meet together, the neater everything looks. And that's yeah, that's the kind, I like that. I don't like how messy this looks at the minute because I've just grabbed it out of the bag. So that's the principles. That's what we learned on the first day. So it was only a couple of hours, and we did that in the first couple of hours. And then we went back a couple of weeks later, and we learned how to actually do the quilting. So how to make a sandwich of put batting together, put the backing on, how to quilt it by stitching in the ditch, and how to put the binding on, and how to finish it properly. So little threads everywhere. So yeah, so how it all gets finished and done. So that, again, that was another couple of hours on the next day, and it was really, really fun. It was taught by Sandy, who is Love Daisy Quilts, I think. Daisy Love Quilts. Anyway, I'll pop a little thing. She was really, really good, really, really helpful, a lovely, lovely lady. So now I'm going to give it a go. So I'm going to show you what I've been doing. So I have lots and lots of scraps, all from all loads of different projects that I've been doing over the past couple of years. I think in my first episode, so exactly 1 year ago today, I was making a baby carrier to put James in. So I've got fabric from there. I've got fabric from making the bags. I made a couple of friends' dresses, things that I've made over the years anyway. So lots of scraps. So lots of different colours. So my idea was to put all these scraps together and make blocks in the different colours and try and do a bit of a rainbow effect on a quilt. I wasn't quite sure how it's going to work out because I had lots, but we're just going to give it a go. There's no particular pattern, so I'm going to start from the beginning and show you my blocks. So I've done 5 so far. So these are my blocks. This is what they look like. My neighbours are staring at me again. Oh dear. Okay, I'm just going to pop through. I'm going to tell you what they all are because I'm that excited. So these, this really navy paisley was from David's dressing gown that I made him for Christmas. This, I think the little tree with the little herons, that was from a bag, also the same as the blue with the bags. This giant paisley is from a leftover or something, I can't remember. Well, I'm really not going to tell you what everything. Anyway, that was my first. So this was my darkest one, and then I went a little bit lighter, I think, by doing this one. And again, we're just going through. I've got lots of these colours. It's going to be quite a large. So I've worked it out. I think I worked it out. So each, it's got 25 blocks to each block, and then I'll need 30 blocks to make the square. Well, I think that's how many, that's how my maths worked out. I'd have enough to make 30 blocks, and 30 blocks would make the quilt. So that's what we're aiming for. And now start going a little bit greener. This one, and super green at the end. So I've got 5. So I've made 5 out of the 30 so far, and I've really, really enjoyed doing this. I've enjoyed the whole process. The actual sorting, the actual organising, sorting out all the different colours, deciding which rainbow I want to go into, the precision cutting, and the actual sewing, and making sure that all the points are, all my corners are done. Yeah, I've really, really enjoyed doing it so far. However, I don't think quilting needs to be my hobby. Although I've really, really liked using all the scraps that I have, I don't think I could buy material to make a quilt. It's not, I've really enjoyed doing it this way around because I have things and I can get a process out of it. But to actually then go out and buy material specifically for a quilt, I don't know if that's me. I don't know if I should just stop talking right now because by the time I finish it, I go, oh, have you seen this design? So I went in a giant Pinterest / YouTube quilting rabbit hole and watched every single quilting video going for like weeks. But yeah, and now I can make them. So well, we'll see when it gets further down the line. I've only made 5 blocks so far. Let's see how long it takes me to make the rest of the 25. But yeah, I think that's everything that I needed to talk about with you guys today. It's totally not. I have loads of things to talk about, and when for 5 weeks I'm planning doing these videos, and I make little notes and I jot things down, and it comes to sitting down and actually telling you guys what I've been doing, and my mind goes completely blank. And I look around and I go, oh, I didn't tell you about this. What's this? This is the only thing that I bought from Leeds Wool Festival. So we went on the Saturday, we set up the stall with the spinners from there, we span all day, we chatted to all the people that came around. It was very quiet, I must admit. So Leeds Wool Festival was the first wool festival I ever went to, and it marked a year of me spinning. So I went last year and I met the spinners of there on their stall, and I bought the starter kit that the guild was selling. I learned how to spin using the drop spindle and YouTube, and has been going to the spinners of air every week since. So it was really nice to then actually go to the festival and then be on their stall and do most of the selling for the day, and chatting to everybody that came up and trying to encourage everybody that was thinking about spinning to start spinning, because it really has. I've really enjoyed it. And come and join us at Armley Mills on a Wednesday, because it really is a fun group and everybody's really nice. But yeah, so the guild are on a stall next to us. So we are the Spinners of Air. We meet on a Wednesday from 10 till 2 at Armley Mills Museum. And then there's the Guild of Spinners, Weavers and Dyers. We meet, I'm part of the Bradford branch, and we meet every 3rd Saturday, which I think is quite true for most of the guilds nationwide. So I think if you were to look into it and you looked at your local one, it is quite likely that they'd meet on a 3rd Saturday of every month. Anyway, that was off tangent. So Alison, who is part of our guild, was demonstrating how to make rollags on the day. So she was demonstrating how to make the rollags on the blending board, and then literally at the same time bagging them up and shoving them on the guild table. Now I saw these colours and I thought they were absolutely beautiful. And at £2.50, I don't think you can go wrong. So that's a little bit more that I can take for my spinning. That I said I wasn't going to buy anything, but it's only a little thing. It's only little. So yeah, okay. Plans for my spinning. Because everything that I've been knitting at the minute has been going very slowly. Although I've got quite a lot of progress, it's probably because I haven't been filming for like 5 or 6 weeks or however long it's been. I think personally I haven't knit as much as I have been sewing. I have been, really enjoying that on an evening. But I really want to do some more spinning, and it's the one thing that I don't seem to do when I'm at home. I only do it on a Wednesday when I go to the group, and it's easier for me to take the drop spindle to the group because James is now at a point where he's running around crazy and he's into everything, and I can't really get much done. I go to group now and I spin for the amount of time that James naps for. We have some dinner and then I leave. so I don't get as much time as I want to. So I have decided I am going to start a Tour de Fleece team. So I'm not entirely, I've got to admit, I'm not entirely sure exactly what that entails, being a team leader. But if you would like to join me, so the Tour de Fleece is something that runs every year. So you spin as long as the Tour de France is running. So this year, I believe it's the first 3 weeks in July. I think it might start on the 3rd or the 6th. Someone measured me the other day and told me exactly when it was, and I can't remember already. I think it's the 6th of July for 3 weeks. So basically, you spin and you then measure how much yardage you get in those 3 weeks. You compile it together with your teammates and you put into a small competition. Now, I am under no imagination thinking that we might win anything. I think some of the teams that take part in Tour de Fleece are like 300 people at a time. And so far, I think I might have 4 people to my team. So if you'd like to join us, just for the fun of it, I am going to make... my own personal goal will be to spin for 15 minutes every day. If I can do longer, then that would be brilliant. I saw somebody's idea the other day they were going to spin the same amount of minutes that the cyclists did in kilometres. So if they did, 30 kilometres that day, then they were going to spin for 30 minutes. I don't really want to watch people doing the bikes. That sounds really bad, and I'm sure just a little Google each day will tell me how keeping up to date with the Tour de France, but it just sounds like effort, right? So yeah, so my personal goal will be to do 15 minutes a day, and if anybody would like to join me for those weeks in July, just as a little bit of fun, you're very welcome to join us. Okay. I'm sure I will make a lot more plans for the next video. I wanted to tell you loads of stuff and I can't really remember. Okay, I'm going to say goodbye, guys. I'm sure that I'm going to get to editing and go, why did you not mention this? Why didn't you talk about this? There's a whole project bag there that you forgot about talking. Anyway. Yeah. I can't think. My head's a shed. I wanted to show you James. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted James to wake up and I wanted you to see James. But he is still asleep and he is not waking up. And I am not waking him up for anything. So maybe I can put a little clip of James in at the end. You can see Edward talking about Pokemon and James wrecking something, I'm sure. Okay, guys. So I'm going to say goodbye. Goodbye. I'm going to say goodbye and I will see you next time. Thanks for joining me and happy knitting times. I'll see you soon. Bye. Well, did you just fall over your toys? The whole house is taking over my toys. Yep. What are you doing with the washing? What are you doing with them? Can you take it back into the kitchen? You take the washing into the kitchen? Oh, not one pair of underpants at a time. Edward's dirty scruds. What are you going to do with those now? Underpants pants. Underpants party. Would you like to read the fox's socks? Do you want to go get those dirty underpants and put them back in the washing basket for me?